Alright guys, you're welcome back to this channel where we bring you updates on the political aspect of Nigeria. Today is another day for the court. Mr. P2B and his legal team have proceeded to the court of law today for another trial. So can I tell you that Amazon has exposed INEC, about the technical glitch issues. INEC claimed during the presidential election, INEC claimed that they had technical glitch issues that made them not to, transmit the result to the IREF. So now Amazon are the real owners, real producers of those beavers machines, which they were invited, to run a check on those beavers, and they concluded that there were no glitches in their beavers machine, which shows that INEC planned this stuff to stop the beavers from working on that presidential election. So now, guys, I will show you a video. Let me quickly show you a video of a Nigerian guy who came out to state his reasons. Most of you have been, giving your support to Tinubu because Tinubu came into the government and, signed the student loan and also, stopped the, what is it called, the fuel subsidy. And many of you have been thinking that, oh, Tinubu is the right person. But let me show you this video. After watching this video, you will now tell me whether you still give your support, because I know that most of the obedient are now losing focus on our journey of reclaiming back our mandate because Tinubu came in and started doing some certain things they want, and some are now thinking. But you guys don't know that these APC people are really using our head. But most of you don't know. APC people are very trickish. They are using our head so that we can lose focus on reclaiming back our mandate. I will show you a video. Then after watching this video, you will now tell me whether you will still give your support to Tinubu. For those that are still giving their support to Tinubu because Tinubu came out and did some certain things, and you now think that those things he's doing now will last forever or something like that. Anyway, watch the video. Then when we get back, we continue.
Before you blame or praise Tinubu for his first 2 weeks, going on 3 weeks in office, there are some things that we need to just ponder about. Some people are praising him. They say he has done so much within a very short time, things that no other president could do. Some people think otherwise. Now, for those who think that he has done so well, they reference things like removing fuel subsidy as an achievement, and they reference signing the electricity bill as an achievement. They also reference signing the student loan bill as an achievement. They reference the suspension of Emefiele, the suspension of Bauer as an achievement. They claim he has done so much and it should be hailed. But before we go ahead to praise or blame him, let's look at these things that he has done in proper context, because for you to praise or blame a president or a government, you need to consider what the president or the government has done. Now, what is the primary responsibility of government? It is the security and welfare of the people. So if we're going to judge Tinubu based on his first 3 weeks in office to determine whether he has done well or otherwise, we need to check how has the welfare of Nigerians fared in this past 2 going on 3 weeks of Tinubu's administration. So let me ask you, how is your welfare? How is your condition of living? Are you enjoying more than you were enjoying before? Are you buying things cheaper than you were buying before? Are you getting more money now than you were getting before? The number of unemployed persons, is it dropping in the first 3 weeks? These are the things that we need to look at to decide whether to praise or to blame Tinubu. Now, what is your answer? Let it not just be me talking. How would you rate yourself, regardless of who you supported for presidency? I didn't support Tinubu and I'm unapologetic about it. But let's be objective. In these first 2 or first 3 weeks of Tinubu's presidency, with what he has done, with all the bills that he has signed, with all the subsidy that he removed, with the devaluation of the naira in the name of unification of the FX window, you tell me, how is your condition of living? How is it? If it is better than before May 29, then go ahead and clap for Tinubu. But if it is not, then you are free to do whatever you want to do. Let me know in the comment section. But for me, this is how I view things.
There is an elite core in this country that has dominated American society. The Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, well, let's face it, they've dominated the State Department for 40 years, and pretty much openly
All right,
so.
but what are they trying to do,
Well,
Congressman?
their objective is to try to bring about a gradual transition in our society, a dissolving of sovereignty, and a moving steadily to the left on the political spectrum.
Well, who are they?
Belief, the elitist groups that I mentioned, particularly key individuals and policymakers in the Council
Is the
on Foreign
International
Relations.
Monetary Fund part of this?
Well, I would say the International Monetary Fund has certainly been set up for the purpose of facilitating that transfer of sovereignty and transfer of wealth. You are looking at a group that has worked to bring about the dissolution of national sovereignties on the road to world government.
I would go to countries with resources our corporations covet, like oil. I'd arrange a huge loan to those countries from the World Bank or its sister organizations, but the money wouldn't actually go to the country. It would go to our corporations, Bechtel, Halliburton, Brown and Root, familiar names, to build big infrastructure projects in those countries and incidentally make huge profits in the process. They'd build power plants and industrial parks, things that would benefit a few wealthy families in the country, the ones that own the industries. But the majority of the people would suffer. They would be left holding a huge debt they couldn't repay. So we'd go back and say, since you can't pay your debt, sell your resource, oil or whatever, real cheap to our corporations. Privatize. Sell your utilities, your schools, your jails, everything like that to our corporations. And Claudine also told me that if the leaders of these countries refused my offer, people she called jackals would be right behind me. I didn't actually carry a gun, but the jackals did.
All the things that Tinubu has done so far, all of them indicates that Tinubu is starting on a wrong foot. Is starting on a wrong foot. And I'll tell you why. The Western powers, led by America, followed closely by the UK and the EU, they have a strategy. And their strategy, I call it the colonial virus disease mutation 3. Colonial virus disease mutation 3. That strategy is targeted at keeping us dependent on them. That strategy of the US through the IMF and the World Bank is targeted at making sure that African countries, and inclusive of Nigeria, are dependent on the West, on the Europeans, for goods